Alright guys, today we're going to be doing an AC compressor bracket on a Subaru Outback. I'm going to be starting the video from about halfway through, but if you follow along you should be able to figure out how to take it apart. The main reason I wanted to post this video is just to show you all the work that someone might have to go through just because of some poor manufacturing. Stay tuned. Alright, so ultimately at the beginning our idler pulley failed on this vehicle, and the place that the idler pulley mounts to is actually to the AC compressor bracket. You can see the old one and the new one here, and you can probably tell right away what's wrong with it. This is where the idler pulley mounts to on the new one. And that's the old one. It's completely destroyed. All because a pulley bearing failed, and this is made of aluminum that wasn't very strong. So we're officially at the halfway point, and I'm going to show you what I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and place this AC compressor bracket kind of down into position. There's going to be 4 bolts that holds it in. One here, one down there that's still sticking out, which actually holds this other small bracket to the compressor. Then you can kind of see that other bottom bolt down here right by my finger. It also holds on this secondary bracket. And then you have this bolt, which actually has a small bracket that holds the wiring harness in it. So I'm going to go ahead and reattach the compressor bracket to the compressor before we connect it back to the engine. Alright, so we got them bolts into position. I'm going to tighten them down with my electric powered ratchet here, courtesy of one of my subscribers. This thing has really come in handy, I'll tell you what. I love this thing. Okay, so we've got our compressor bracket installed, and we've got all of our bolts in there. Now you can see the next set of bolts. There's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the compressor bracket back to the engine. Also, there's another 4th bolt right down here on the front. Don't forget that one. Alright, so now that we got all those bolts tightened up, we want to go ahead and reinstall our alternator back into this cavity here. But first, I'm going to bang this down a little bit because it was very difficult to get it off. So now we've got our alternator in place. There's a very long bolt that goes all the way through, and then there's that special nut on the back that you want to have it oriented just like that. And there's another bolt on top from the power steering bracket to the alternator. And there's a 3rd bolt right down there that holds the alternator on as well. So we're going to go ahead and tighten those up now. I do want to mention there are 3 different size bolts on this alternator. There's a very long one, the short one goes here, and the medium one goes here. Before you tighten this up all the way, make sure to put that in. Okay, next thing we did was install the 10mm bolt into our AC compressor bracket that holds this small bracket on right here, and went ahead and plugged this connector back into the alternator. Put the nut back on the B+ terminal and put the cap back on. Then I also plugged this back in and this back in near the AC compressor. Now, we had to do all of that just to get back to the point where we can replace our idler pulley, which is the part that initially failed. This piece at the dealership is $135 that someone has to pay just because of poor manufacturing and weak components. Alright, so now we got that idler pulley installed, spinning nice and freely. The only thing left is the belt and the engine cover. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, and now we got our belt back on. Problem solved. You can take note of the way that it's routed here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the engine cover back on, and we'll be all finished up. Bad boy's running nice and smooth again. Look at that. Very nice. Alright, that's going to be the end of the video today, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.